So here we see that the disciple has understood this fact, this reality. Matra moksha bilas being my goal, only goal, my first target is self-realization. Goal, liberation. Matra liberation. Target, self-realization. Tools, instrumental causes, conducive atmosphere, everything there. Sadguru is there, Sadguru Samagam is there. And in that Sadguru Samagam, I am getting answers to my questions, clarification of my doubts. Everything is there. Works hard, observing his Guru immersed in his self. Even he is motivated, rather activated, and his tendencies flow within, attain self-realization, expressing what he experienced from verse 119, 120, first line, first pad, second line, second pad. Verse 121, Karta and Bhokta, third and the fourth fundamental truth. The conviction is expressed as an experiential conviction. Now, we can find that in those two words which Dr. Mansi. So, Bhasyu, Sadguru na Updesh di, Avyu, Bhasyu, Vritti, Vahi. Generalized statement ho, to Vritti jo vahe, to am thai. Generalized. Mari Vritti vahi, ane etle mane am thayu. Experience. Moving forward, we see the same conviction of the third and the fourth fundamental truth in a different way. And in the next verse, verse 123, so this was 122, and then verse 123, we see the conviction of the fifth and the sixth fundamental truth. When the tendencies flow towards one's own pure nature, the soul becomes the non-doer and non-enjoyer of impure feelings and material karma. This was stated in the previous verse. Despite this, it is certainly the doer and the enjoyer of the pure modifications. A karta of karma he became. A bhokta of karma he became. But still, karta bhokta is the very nature of the soul. The choice was between karta bhokta of karma or karta bhokta of swabhav, in the sense of modifications, of course. Chetan jo nij bhan ma karta aap swabhav. Nai nij bhan ma karta karma. So the choice, the kartutva will stay, the doership will stay. The enjoyership will always remain. But the choice was between karma, meaning bhav karma, which is instrumental in dravya karma. So we can say karma, or so the doership of the soul in an ignorant state, harboring impure feelings, accumulating the material particles. So we can say karma. We don't go into detail of dravya karma and bhav karma here. So, doer and enjoyer of karma. In an enlightened state, the doer of karma, no. So he becomes non-doer of karma, non-enjoyer of karma. But the doership remains, the enjoyership remains So now we need to know હવે in this state of enlightenment, Sena doer, Sena enjoyer. So it's written here, now he is the doer and enjoyer of the pure modifications. Verse over. The fact has been explained beautifully in this verse by the disciple. Let's see.
अथवा निज परिणाम जे शुद्ध चेतनारो कर्ता भोक्ता तेहनो निर्विकल्प स्वरूप.
So for us, it is a revision of the third and the fourth fundamental truth. For the Shishya, for the disciple, is expressing what he experienced. So the first word is Athva. Literally, if you translate, it is or. Athva meaning or alternately, meaning in other words. Same thing in other words. Same thing. Nij parinam je, own nij meaning own, parinam je modifications. Shuddha chetana roop, pure consciousness. What I experienced was something of in the form of pure consciousness. Karta bhokta tehano, doer and enjoyer of that. And what was my state that time? Nirvikalpa Swarup. The nature of the soul is Nirvikalp, and my state also became Nirvikalp, unperturbed nature. Alternately, it may be said that, so in other words, you can say that, first person, I became the doer and enjoyer of my own modifications, which are of the nature of pure consciousness without any thought activity. So this is the nearest translation because it's nirvikalp, not nirvichar. But now what do I write for nirvikalp? So without any thought activity, nirvikalp, nature of pure consciousness, shuddha chetana. So athva meaning, athva, in other words, it can also be said this way or alternately. ચાર યાદ રાખવાની જરૂર નથી ક્વિઝ વાળાને, એક જ યાદ રાખજો. Meaning what was expressed in the or stated in the previous verse, same thing in another way. Same thing in another way. Because both the non-doership and the non-enjoyership was implied in the last verse. So the same thing in other words, in another way. It can also be said. Ones whose impure feelings are annihilated and his tendencies have flowed within, becomes the doer of pure modifications, an enjoyer of pure bliss. Doer of his own pure modifications, an enjoyer of that bliss. Now I'll be saying in the way the Shishya says. Same thing. Same thing. This is the Siddhant. This is the principle. The generalized thing. Now, the same thing is experienced by the Shishya, by the worthy disciple, and he is going to say the same thing out of his experience. He'll say, Oh Gurudev, by your teachings, I canalized my energy, or say channelized my attention towards the soul. And I realized once I did that, I became a spectator of the manifestations of karma, karmodaya. Karmana udayma, I just became a spectator. Story ni jem jojo. Those 6 fundamental truths, now you'll feel very dry. Because this is with love, romance, and experience. See, the same thing I said before, if one does this, this will happen. You didn't clap. Such a wonderful thing I said. You didn't clap. Same thing when I say, I did this by your grace, O Gurudev, by your... The worthy disciple says, O Gurudev, by your grace, by your teachings, by your commands, agnas, instructions, advice, I channelized my energy, my attentiveness, my tendencies towards myself. Antarmukh. And what did I experience? That I became a spectator of the manifestations, whatever the manifestations of the karma. I just became a spectator. I did not get involved. I did not harbor impure feelings regarding it. No impure feelings. And I experienced pure consciousness. Swayed in the inner bliss. I was immersed in that marvelous state. And what did I experience? I felt my ego, my desires getting vanished. I will not use the word diminished now. એ ખુમારી જેવી છે કે જાણે હવે કદી પાછી આવવાની નથી. Just imagine, after that nirvikalp state, will he say diminished or vanished? Now you might say, but Charitra Moh is yet left, and that is still, and that Anantanubandhi might have gone, but that Apratyakhani, Pratyakhani, Svanjavala, and the other subtler. No, he feels there is nothing like ego in me now. I is dissolved, nothing. There is no desire, everything has stopped. Muted, stopped. Akhu jagat jane stopped, so there is no desire, no reaction, nothing. No more karma, no karta bhokta. No more karta and bhokta of karma. I am in my nij bhav, my natural disposition. I am in Atma Anand, bliss of the self. Same thing I said before, but you feel it's so different. When I experienced this, Gurudev, I became a spectator. I could see no ego, no desire in me, no impurity I could feel in me, nothing. I am no more karta bhokta of karma, not anymore, not even bhokta, not even karta, and I am enjoying the bliss. I am swaying in the bliss, inner bliss. See, the state of an ignorant soul, at least at present, is impure modification. The state of an enlightened soul is of pure modification. I am talking of the state. Nature banne na shuddha che. Ignorant soul, enlightened soul. Nature of an ignorant soul. Are you sure? Yeah, inherent nature is pure. Inherent nature of the enlightened soul. Wow. The present state of this ignorant soul? Impure modifications. The present state of the enlightened soul? pure modifications. So I'm experiencing that. See, પેલા સિદ્ધાંત સમજી લો. Soul can never be a doer or an enjoyer of the changes in any substance. એક દ્રવ્ય બીજા દ્રવ્યનું કાંઈ કરી શકે નહીં, બીજું દ્રવ્ય એને કંઈ ભોગવાવી શકે નહીં. The soul, by the very nature, is the non-doer and non-enjoyer of the changes, modifications of other substances. So you can't say કે બહુ ગરમી પડે છે એટલે હું દુઃખી થયો. That is out of question. You may believe that, and I'll call that false belief. You may believe it. કે આના કારણે ભેજાફોડી થાય છે, આના સ્વભાવની વિચિત્રતાના કારણે દુઃખી થઈ ગયા છે અમે બધા. So that's not the absolute truth. This is your truth, which is not a truth. So number one, the soul by its very nature is a non-doer and non-enjoyer of any changes in substances other than it. For practical purpose, let's keep non-self. Jad. જડના ચેન્જીસનો ન તો એ કરતા છે, ન તો એ એનો ભોગતા છે. Be very clear, this is the absolute truth. I'll speak about the disciples' experience in 2 minutes. But this is the Siddhant, you can't be the doer or the enjoyer of the changes in the non-self. Par. It can be Jad, Chetan, anything, but Par, not so. It can only be the doer and the enjoyer of its own feelings, impure or pure. But it can be the doer also of that and the enjoyer of that. The ignorant soul is the doer and enjoyer of his impure feelings. The enlightened soul is the doer and enjoyer of his pure feelings. જે સિદ્ધાંત છે સિદ્ધાંત છે. તું આત્મજ્ઞાન પામે એમાં કંઈ સિદ્ધાંત થોડી બદલાય. Again, it was not difficult at all. આમાં કંઈ mathematical calculation is the way Rushabh is looking in the air and calculating in the air. It's not at all difficult. હા આમ કરતો જાનું મેં શું કહી દીધું હોય. This I've been saying since 40 years. Number one, the soul cannot be, by its very nature, the soul cannot be the doer or the enjoyer of other, or you can say changes of other substances. Simple. But it can be the doer and the enjoyer of its own feelings, whatever they are. Krodh hoy to krodh, kshama hoy to kshama, anything. It can be the doer and the enjoyer of its own feelings. Now, let's go to the ignorant and the enlightened. So the ignorant is the doer and the enjoyer of its impure feelings. Simple. And the enlightened ones, they are the doer and the enjoyer of pure feelings, or non-doer and non-enjoyer of impure feelings. મને થોડું મન થયું કન્ફ્યુઝ કરવાનું તમને. So the enlightened souls are non-doer and non-enjoyer of the changes of other substances. The enlightened soul is also the non-doer and non-enjoyer of its own impure feelings, because utpanna nath thata impure feelings. It's not doing, it's not enjoying. To sum up, ignorant, non-doer, doer. Enlightened, non-doer, non-doer, doer. Doer of the pure. But non-doer of other substances now changes now. And non-doer of impure modifications also. That is the difference between the ignorant and the enlightened. Now let's ask the disciple, બીજું શું થયું અંદર? Aren't you curious? બીજું શું થયું actually? Because સમજ તો અમને બી બધી પડે છે, પણ થતું નથી. So Let's ask the disciple directly. Because એનું વધારે ટચ થાય છે આપણે, right? So let's ask the disciple, what exactly happened? And beautifully explaining this Siddhant, which was experienced. Siddha thayo, any labma. Guru had said in verse 78, ચેતન જો નિજ ભાનમાં કરતા આપ સ્વભાવ, ચેતન નહીં નિજ ભાનમાં કરતા કર્મ પ્રભાવ. It said in the third fundamental truth, the last verse of the solution, 78. But what did you experience? And he says, when I focused my attention within, the doership and the enjoyership still remained. It still remained. It has to remain because it's the nature of the self. I said it yesterday also. It's the nature of the self. Soul is active by nature. It performs its activity. Rajuji must have explained. Artha kriya sampanna che sarva padartha artha kriyam. So Atma is also padarth, so it has to have some. What activity we need to know? Activity. And an activity hoy to there is the doer of that activity. So the doership will always remain. Even when he's liberated and he's in the state of Siddha, the doership will remain. If the doership goes away, then it possible is nothing, right? One cannot leave its nature, discard its nature. So this doership, it's the nature of the soul. And doership of the karma is the state of the soul, not the nature. So the disciple is saying, when in the moments of enlightenment, technical say I understand, but so beautiful. You need to know how he has absorbed and experienced the Guru's teachings. We didn't realize during verse 78 that this is when this turns into a personal experience, how would one feel? So yeah. હવે હું વર્સમાં જાઉં છું. અથવા નિજ પરિણામ તે શુદ્ધ. So the Shishya, the worthy disciple is saying, once my attention was focused within, I realized the doership is still there. The enjoyership is still there. But it is replaced. Replaced. The doership and enjoyership of the karma is now replaced with the doership and the enjoyership of the pure modifications of the soul, which is of the nature of consciousness and without any thought activity. Shuddha Chetana Roop and Nirvikalpa Swarup. Got it? થોડી ડિફિકલ્ટ લાગશે. હા ને પછી તો કાલ પછી તો બુદ્ધિ ઘરે મૂકીને આવશો તો બી ચાલશે. ઓનલી હાર્ટ કમ્પલસરી લાવવાનું. Today I need your head also. To unfold the beauty of these words. Not even sentences, words. So he's saying, what I experienced of myself, I didn't find any element of impurity. આટલું બધું મારી પાસે ઇન્ટ્રોસ્પેક્શન ગુરુએ કરાયું. દોષ જુઓ, દોષ જુઓ, દોષ જુઓ, દોષ જુઓ. I felt I am અધમાધમ અધિકોપતિત સકલ જગતમાં હોય. But in the moments of that experience, enlightenment experience, what did I find? What did I experience? No element of impurity in me, within me. What did I experience in Param Krupal Dev's words? Shuddha Chetana Roop. Shuddha pure. Chetna. Now my question to you is, why didn't Param Krupal Dev use the word Chetan? And why did he use the word Chetana? Shuddha Chetan Roop is also fine. You will, તમે તો એ જ અર્થ કરતે ને. If he had written Shuddha Chetan Roop, so what would you write? Pure consciousness. Why did he use the word Shuddha Chetana? બિકોઝ અહીંયા કોઈ ચેતન નથી ને એક ચેતના બેન છે એટલા માટે. વાય? એ કાનો માત્ર પણ ભગવાન એમને નહીં લખે. ધીસ ઇઝ ધ બ્યુટી. જો ચેતનથી ચાલતું હોય તો ચેતના નહીં લખે ભગવાન. એન્ડ ચેતના લાઈક વન ઇઝ મેલ વન ઇઝ ફિમેલ એવું તો છે નહીં. હા, આત્મામાં છે મેલ ફિમેલ છે નહીં, તો બોડીમાં છે. સો વાય ધ વર્ડ શુદ્ધ ચેતના? સો આઈ નીડ ટુ ઓનલી એક્સપ્લેન. કરતા ભોગતા તેહનો આઈ હેવ એક્સપ્લેન. શુદ્ધ ચેતના રૂપ આઈ હેવ ટુ એક્સપ્લેન, એન્ડ નિર્વિકલ્પ સ્વરૂપ આઈ હેવ એક્સપ્લેન. ટુ થિંગ્સ આઈ નીડ ટુ એક્સપ્લેન. શુદ્ધ ચેતના. સો ચેતન દ્રવ્ય, or you say conscious substance, Atma, soul. It is Chetan Dravya, conscious substance, with two types of modifications. That modification is called Chetana, in the sense there are two types of modifications, Shuddha Chetana and Ashuddha Chetana. Chetan remains Chetan only. These both are sensations of a Chetan Dravya only. Jad Dravya does not have sensations only. So both are the sensations of Chetan Dravya. But one is pure, so we call it Shuddha Chetana. One is impure, so we call it Ashuddha Chetana. Another word for it is Gnan Chetana and Agnan Chetana. But chhodi do. Quiz mati bhi chhodi do. Shuddha Chetana and Ashuddha Chetana are two different modifications of the Chetan Dravya. Understood? Are you ready to go one step ahead? Shuddha Chetana is Shuddha Chetana. No explanation. Chelle bolvu hai to bolisu. Ashuddha Chetana is of two types. Totally how many types of Chetana? 3. Totally. Shuddha Chetana and Ashuddha Chetana. Ashuddha Chetana is of two types, Karma Chetana and Karma Phal Chetana. ખાલી સાંભળો ને, આટલું ટેકનિકલ. I didn't want to make it technical, but I need to tell you why Shuddha Chetana. Why not the word Shuddha Chetan Roop? And why the word Shuddha Chetana Roop? સાંભળો, આ ક્વિઝમાંથી આખું, ડોન્ટ ટચ ધ હોલ સબ્જેક્ટ. મૂકી દો. બહુ ઇઝી છે. નવું કંઈક આવે, ગુરુ પાસે આવ્યું ને, દેન ઇટ્સ સિમ્પલ ઓનલી. હવે આ કેટલી ચેતનાઓ યાદ રાખવાની? 3. Karma Chetana, Karma Phal Chetana and Shuddha Chetana, because these two are Ashuddha Chetana. So Karma Chetana, Karma Phal Chetana and Shuddha Chetana. Okay. Should I explain? But nothing will come in the quiz. The whole thing will be bracketed, not touched. એટલે ખાલી દિલથી સાંભળો, પેન બેન મૂકીને સાંભળવું હોય તો સાંભળો. So, what is this Karma Chetana and what is this Karma Phal Chetana? Very, very simple. Karma Chetana એટલે કરતા and Karma Phal Chetana એટલે ભોગતા. કરતા ભોગતા. See, the next words are karta bhokta. So karta, Karma Chetana is the feeling of doership of par. Karma Chetana means the feeling of doership of par. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. Is it possible to believe it? Yes. It's not possible. I can't do anything in any other dravya, but I can believe Mara Karvati Thai. Your pride. If I do, it happens, Jasani. If મને તમે ફંડ રેઝિંગમાં લો, પછી જુઓ 3 હોસ્પિટલ બની જશે. If I do, Nemiji is saying yes. He can say, if you say, so you become Karma Chetana. It is not possible that you can do anything in par, in the non-self. But it's possible to believe that I can do in par to the extent I do. એવું થાય તમને? I do. If I don't do, who will do, Nemiji? If I don't do, it won't happen. If I do, it will happen, ચૈતાલીજી. અરે હું એક્ટિવ ન બનું તો આખું મિશન પડી ભાંગશે એવો ભ્રમ મને તો નથી, તમને બી નથી. ગુડ. It is not possible, but it is possible to believe this. So karma chetna is those chetna who believe this. I do. આ મેં કર્યું, આ આખું પેકિંગ મેં કર્યું. મહેનત કર્યું ખાલી સમજાવવા માટે. મેં તો હમણાં જોયું, મને ખબર બી નથી શું બોલવાનું હતું. હા, પણ સપોઝ I have packed. Who has packed this? Who is it? Huh? So when you, Maulik ji, stand up. So you say, I have not done this. Because you can't do anything in par. So you haven't. You say this, I haven't done this. જુઠ્ઠું લાગે છે. કેટલું જુઠ્ઠું લાગે. He is so genuine. When he is saying, I didn't do, he actually feels that way, right? When she is saying, I didn't do it, she says, આવું જ બોલવું જોઈએ. And so Junagadhna poet says so beautifully, Narsimha Mehta, હું કરું એ જજ્ઞાનતા શકટનો ભાર જેમ સ્વાનતાને. Didn't understand anything. So it was a hot summer day, and a farmer was going towards his fields. He was going in a cart. Cart. He was going in a cart towards the field. There was a dog under the cart. The moment the cart started, even he got up, awakened. And he was going along. Cart is going, the dog is also moving. And the dog starts feeling, it is me who is driving the cart. હું કરું એ જજ્ઞાનતા શકટ meaning cart. શકટનો ભાર જેમ swan, dog, તાને. So any activity from our side and we feel, I'm the doer, the doership, the feeling of doership, of I do is karma chetna. Simple. Way back in 1986, I had read the entire literature available at that time of Swami Ramtirth. બધા જ સંતોનું એવું કહ્યું, પણ I'm talking of Swami Ramtirth. So there were 8 volumes. લગભગ વચનામૃત જેવું, little less than વચનામૃત was 1 volume. એવા 8 volume. અને it was so interesting. મેં એક જ મહિનામાં વાંચી દીધું. 5 દિવસમાં એક વોલ્યુમ વાંચું એવી રીતે. સો એકમાં એમના લેક્ચર્સ, એકમાં એમની લાઈફ, એકમાં એમના વર્ક્સ, એકમાં એમના કરસ્પોન્ડન્સ ને બધું લેટર્સ ને એવી રીતે 8 વોલ્યુમ્સ હતા. So there was a beautiful drashtant regarding this doership. So he says, there was a lady, she possessed a kukda. તો સનરાઈઝ થાય અને કેવી રીતે બોલે તમે કરીને બતાવો કોઈ. એ તો મેં ઇંગ્લિશ કોક વાત કરી. કુકડે કુક. સનરાઈઝ થાય અને પેલો કુકડે કુક કરે. She went into a belief, only when my cock sings, the sun rises. Because આ simultaneous બનતી ઘટનાને she related it. And then the feeling of doership emerged in her. So she, like the sheriff of the town, કે mayor of the town, એવા ફૂલેલી ફરે કે જો બહુ હોશિયારી મારશે ને તો મારા કુકડાને ના પાડી દઈશ તો કાલે સૂર્ય નહીં ઉગે, એમ ધમકી આપે બધાને. હેલો, તમને મેં ધમકી આપી. હવે ભાઈ તમે નહીં હોય તો 4 હોસ્પિટલ થશે. જ્ઞાની ધમકી આપે છે કે આ તારાથી કાંઈ નથી, ઇટ વોઝ ડેસ્ટિન્ડ ટુ હેપન એન્ડ યુ વર જસ્ટ એન ઇન્સ્ટ્રુમેન્ટ. જસ્ટ શો ગ્રેટિટ્યુડ એન્ડ નથિંગ મોર. You can't take the pride that from that doership comes mithya ahankar. From the kartapanu comes mithya ahankar. From the feeling of doership comes false pride. It's different. Doership is different, pride is different, but it follows. Because I feel I am the doer of this box, so I feel આવું કોઈ અત્યાર સુધી કર્યું છે? આવું કર્યું છે કોઈ? હા, ગો એરમાં આવું કર્યું છે? મેમ તો મેસેજ આવ્યો એરલાઇનમાંથી, આઈ થિંક યુ કે પ્લીઝ ગુરુજી નાવ ફ્લાય ગો એર ઓનલી. મેં તો ત્યાં મને પૈસા ખર્ચવા પડશે, અહીંયા મને મફતમાં મળશે રાજ ઉપર. So, this pride, this doership has become a base tendency. આમ જાણે આપણી પ્રકૃતિ જ બની ગઈ છે. કોઈ બી ચીજ કર્યું તો મારે મેં કર્યું, હું કરું, મેં કર્યું. It has become an instinct. Means we don't need to even think for it. It just comes. The feeling of doership because of the habit since time immemorial. We'll bury the time immemorial when Atma Siddhi gets over. So this has become a base tendency, so deep and so it has become an instinct. Okay. That feeling is so natural in us. It's not an innate, inherent nature, but it's a tendency, but it has become so natural. We want others to feel how important we are. Ajay, in the darshan window, I've been saying everything we comb our hair to impress others. The day we don't have to come out of the room, we don't even comb our hair. કેટલાક તો નાઈ પણ નહીં કે આજે ક્યાં બહાર જવાનું છે, તો બીજા માટે નાવાનું હતું કે પોતા માટે નાવાનું હતું. What phones to purchase will decide what will impress others. તમે તો પેલું ડીંગલું નાનકડું હોય તો બી ચાલે એકચ્યુઅલી, પણ પેલું 12, 13, 14, 15 જે બી હમણાં ચાલતું હોય તે. So you want to buy that. Why? To impress people, not to actually use it. Small kids have that. મેં કહ્યું તમને કરવાનું શું હોય છે? તો કે આમ હાથમાં રાખવાનું આમ. Everything, yeah, it's nice to be important. More important to be nice. આ ડુઅરશિપના ફિલિંગ્સમાં ઘૂસ્યા પછી યુ બીકમ એન એનિમલ. પછી પ્રાઇડ, જેલેસી ટર્ન્સ ઇન્ટુ એરોગન્સ, સેલ્ફિશનેસ. આમ આખી બટાલિયન આવી જાય. What happens? We see only one side of us. Let's check. Everyone has to say one good thing of themselves. I'm sorry, શું કરું? ચલો થોડું વધારે બેસી શકશો? હા, ઠીક. So one good thing you have to say about yourself. Rushabh. I thought મારે કોઈને ખરાબ બોલવાનું હોય તો કે સાવ ફની છે. But I learned something new. Yeah, there's a lot to learn from you, Arpit. So I'm sick. I feel sick. Maulik ji, one good thing of you. Discipline. Nemi ji, one good thing of you.
Passionate.
Passion. Seema ji, one half good thing of you. She's not confident that she has some gun also, that's why. This problem of confidence is there, but half.
Good cook.
Good cook. Yeah, good cook. Okay. Someone must have told you એટલે લક્ષ્ય છે એમ કે નહીં, not લક્ષ્ય, which is present in you. So, of course, they really cook good and without any fuss and... હમણાં તમને ભલે અચકાવ છો બોલતા, but you feel કે દુનિયાભરના ગુણો તમારામાં જ છે. Good leadership, good this, everything. ચલો, forget it. You know what Gnani says? Ke, who is denying it? But this is only one side of you. You have seen a peacock, with the opening of the feathers, and they are so beautiful, blue, green, and design તો એવું લાગે જાણે કોઈ ફેક્ટરીમાં પ્રિન્ટ કરી હોય ને એ લોકો પર લગાવ્યા હોય. But if you see the other side, it is so dull. So the peacock shows only one side of its feathers to the world. Even we do the same thing. One side we show, which is true. If I am perfect in my work, I am. But કેટલો ક્રોધ છે, કેટલો અહંકાર છે, who is going to see that? If you can see the other side of you, you will not go into pride or arrogance or anger. If you see only one side of you, which has been praised by many, and which even you feel so, there starts that false pride. Have I made it clear? Because some things are evident. If you have cooked tasty food, તો જે બી ચાખશે એને સારું લાગવાનું જ છે. But you are not aware of the other side of you. And so you go into false pride. You, instead of this cooking being good, you will say, I am good. And there starts your first downfall. પછી એમાંથી બીજું pride. પછી એમાંથી ત્રીજું arrogance. I am the leader. I can shout at you. Arrogance. Then the selfishness. આ મને નથી ગમતા આ ત્રણ જણ. આ ત્રણ મને ગમે છે. કારણ કે મારા પગ ચાટ્યા કરે એટલે ગમે. આ ત્રણ મને સામે કહે એટલે મને ના ગમે. There comes a discrimination. And then it's a total downfall. Check your conversations. Sorry. અમારા વખતે આમ હતું એટલે ફોનમાં 5 minutes, 10 minutes ચાલે તમારું conversation. How many times have you used the word I? તમને થશે કેટલી વાર મેં I કીધું. Guru was hardly in two times I said Guru or Guru's grace, and I comes 15 times. આજે દર્શન વિન્ડોમાં I said, મેં કીધું એક આપણો આત્મા છે, એક સત્પુરુષનો આત્મા છે. તો આપણો આત્મા ICICI. Everywhere I didn't get the credit, I didn't get the acknowledgement, I didn't get the appreciation. I see. મેં કીધું આપણી બેંક ICICI અને સત્પુરુષનો આત્મા દેના બેંક. દેતે રહે. If they take something from us, that is also to give us happiness. આજે દર્શન વિન્ડો હતી તો બીજું 1 કલાક સત્સંગ, પોણો કલાક સત્સંગ ચાલે. Got it? So this is a problem. જ્ઞાનીની એક શિક્ષા યાદ રાખજો. You can be very good if you don't worry who gets the credit. If you really don't worry about it, who is getting the credit, you have enjoyed doing your seva, fine, over. But if you are worrying about who is getting the credit and how much credit, so gone. I think I've deviated. So we were on that technical word, karma chetna, which turned out to be so easy. Karma chetna, feeling of doership. I do, I did, I want to do everything, past, present, future. So the second, now you understood, karma phala chetna, I am enduring the sorrows, I am enjoying the joys. Say happiness, joy now. I am enjoying the happiness, I am enduring the suffering, the sorrow. Bhokta. Karma chetna, sensation of, feeling of, I do. And I'm enduring, I'm suffering, I'm enjoying. Bhokta. Karta. I do. Karta. I am feeling this. Bhokta. So one is the same feeling of doership, the other is the feeling of enjoyership. So that is karta. So the karta bhav all goes in karma chetna. The bhokta bhav all goes. I'm not going into more detail like all the sthavar are karma phal chetna. All the tras jeev are karma, they are having both the chetna, karma chetna and karma phal chetna, and gnaniya shuddha chetna. Non-doer of all this impure feeling. Or you can say doer of the pure manifestation. So when the disciple experiences his nature, that time what is the state? What is the state? So you are saying pure. So for pure, the word is shuddha. And for the state which corresponds to the nature, the word is chetana. And now you got it. Athva nij parinam je. My modification je. Shuddha chetanaru. I am possessing shuddha chetana now. Now the karma chetna, I can't experience myself as karma chetna. I am not experiencing myself as karma phala chetna. I am experiencing myself as shuddha chetana. I know I made the whole thing a little technical, but see the depth in the words. Shuddha chetana. So, as karma chetna, you cannot do anything in par, but you can surely believe. As karma phal chetna, you cannot endure or enjoy or suffer of some changes in someone, but you do believe and you do say કે તારા આવા નેચરથી હું કંટાળી ગયો છું, પણ એના નેચરને તને શું? You all said the ignorant soul is also a pure soul, and the enlightened is also બધા ભગવાન આત્મા છે. But because of that false belief that I suffer because of you, and I can do the karma chetna and the karma phal chetna, so this is since time immemorial. But the disciple says, I don't feel so. Athva nij parinam je shuddha chetana. Means, if you say in the sense of doership and enjoyership, of the pure manifestation. And if you want to say it in terms of non-doer and non-enjoyer, then I am the non-doer of karmas and non-enjoyer of karma. So the Shuddha Chetna is the indefiled conscious state. You got it? In the form of pure consciousness. And what was that moment of experience? Nirvikalpa Swarup. Nirvikal. The moment of enlightenment, I experienced myself as the karta and bhokta of my pure state. Chit was stable in Chaitanya. Chit or Chetna was stable in my Chaitanya. Attained a very peaceful state. Chit was not running, not wandering anywhere. Stable, stability. See, in the state of ignorance, there are a lot of vikalps arising. Lot of vikalps. So here we'll call vikalp thoughts. So lot of thoughts arise. And when lot of thoughts arise, the state of the soul is unstable, full of disturbances. But in this moment of experience, there was no vikalpa arising, no running about, no wandering, no thought activity. My Chetna was beyond thoughts, or it was in a state of thoughtlessness. There was no thought at that moment. I am enjoying the bliss of the soul. I am the doer of the state of the soul. I did enjoy the soul. I did create the state. I want to create the state. I want to enjoy. Even these thoughts were not present in that thoughtless state. Regarding the Atma, I am enjoying the Atma. This thought was also not there. When he was in that deep experience, I am enjoying the inner bliss. That was also not there. I want to enjoy the inner bliss. That is also not there. I enjoyed the inner bliss. That thought is also not there. Nirvikalpa Swarup. No dualities. No I and Atma. I am enjoying the Atma. So this is duality again. Wow. You are experiencing, you are enjoying the inner bliss, and that thought also does not arise. I am enjoying the bliss. Amna hase, I am enjoying the satsang. You are not enjoying? Huh? So you are not in that nirvikalp state. Because when you are in that deep inner bliss, I did, I am, I wish to or want to, none of these thoughts are also there. Beautiful. It's devoid of all thoughts, a state beyond thoughts. अथवा निज परिणाम केवा छे शुद्ध चेतना रूप कर्ता भोक्ता तेहनो निर्विकल्प स्वरूप. So when one attains oneness with its pure, unblemished nature, oneness with it, he becomes the non-doer of karma, simple, and the non-enjoyer of karma. He revels in the novel bliss of the soul. જે નવો એક નિત નવીન આનંદ એનામાં ઉત્પન્ન થયો છે, he just revels in it. Beautiful, isn't it? So which is beyond senses, which is beyond thought. થાકેલા પાકેલા એવા તમને આટલી અઘરી વાત કરી મિચ્છામી દુક્કડમ. આ બધા સ્ક્રીન્સ પર તો ઘણા થાકેલા લાગે છે બધા. Okay, fine. So the Guru had explained this in verse 78. If you are in the awareness of the self, you will be the doer of karta, apsabhav, in the sense of pure modification and manifestations. And in accordance with that gnan, the disciple put effort. He puts efforts and he attains that state which is beyond thoughts, and he becomes the doer and enjoyer of pure consciousness. So this verse declares the worthy disciple has gained experiential conviction of the Guru's teachings. Let's sing.
अथवा निज परिणाम जे शुद्ध चेतना रूप कर्ता भोक्ता तेहनो निर्विकल्प स्वरूप